100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. She is trying, but the canyon's ever widening in the depths of her cold heart. So she sets out on another misadventure just to find she's another 2 years older and she's 3 more steps behind. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? Oh, does anybody even know she's going down today? Under the shadow of our steeple, with all the lost and lonely people, searching for the hope that's tucked away in you and me. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? She is yearning for shelter and affection that she never found at home. She is searching for a hero to ride in and save the day. And Walter, Prince Charming, and he knows just what to say. Momentary lapse of reason, and she gives herself away. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? Oh, does anybody even know she's going down today? Under the shadow of our steeple, with all the lost and lonely people, searching for the hope that's tucked away in you and me. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? If judgment looms under every steeple, if lofty glances from lofty people can't see past her scarlet letter, and we've never even met her. If judgment looms under every steeple, if lofty glances from lofty people can't see past her scarlet letter, and we've never even met her. Under the shadow of our steeple, with all the lost and lonely people, searching for the hope that's tucked away in you and me. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? Or does anybody even know she's going down today? Under the shadow of our steeple, with all the lost and lonely people, searching for the hope that's tucked away in you and me. Does anybody hear her? Can anybody see? He is running 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. Our Lord, give you your eyes. Look down from a broken sky, traced out by the city lights. My world from a mile high, best seat in the house tonight. Touchdown in the cold black top, hold on for the sudden stop. Breathe in the familiar shock of confusion and chaos. All those people going somewhere Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. Yeah, 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 yeah. Step out on a busy street. I see a girl and now eyes me. She does her best to smile at me, to hide what's underneath. Well, there's a man just to her right, black suit and a bright red tie, too ashamed to tell his wife he's out of work, he's buying time. All those people going somewhere, why have I never cared? Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've been here a million times, a couple of million eyes just moving past me by. I swear I never thought that I was wrong, but I want a second glance, so give me a second chance to see the way you've seen the people all along. Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Lord, give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing, that I keep missing. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, for the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Lord, give me your eyes so I can see. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
us tonight as we continue our journey through Psalm 119. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what that journey can look like, what it involves, what it takes from us. And here I am in the car. We've been on a journey just this week, our family, as I am tonight's devotional is coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So as we think about this journey, as we think about Psalm 119 and what it means to have God direct our paths, let's look and see what how this speaks to us throughout this, and how it reminds us and lead us to know who God is. But before we do that, let's spend a little time singing about who God is and all that He has done for us.
Lord, I come, I confess, bowing here, I find my rest, and without you, I fall apart. You're the one that guides my heart. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Where sin runs deep, your grace is more. Where grace is found is where you are. And where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. Where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. So teach my song to rise to you. When temptation comes my way, and when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. And when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Once I was lost, wandering in darkness, no life inside, no hope inside. He called my name and healed my blindness, set me ablaze. Now I'm alive with His love breaking through my heart of stone, love breathing to awake my bones, love reaching out to save my soul, love never gonna let me go. And now my heart, so full of worship, I can't Jesus, my Savior. I am ablaze and full of thanks for His love breaking through my heart of stone, love breathing to awake my bones, love reaching out to save my soul, love never gonna let me go, love calling me as I am, love making me new again, love lifting me when I can, love never gonna let me go. Wherever you've been, whatever you've done, come as you are, come into His open arms. Wherever you've been, whatever you've done, come as you are, come find His love breaking through my heart of stone, love breathing to awake my bones, love reaching out to save my soul, love never gonna let me go, love calling me as I am, love making me new again, love lifting me when I can, love never gonna let me go, love breaking through my heart of stone, love breathing to awake my bones, love reaching out to save my soul, love never gonna let me go, love calling me as I am, love making me new again, love lifting me when I can, love never gonna let me go, love never gonna let me go, love never gonna let me go.
When Jason Hale and I, my good buddy, when we take trips together, especially like we did this year in March. Remember back to March? It seems ages ago, but we go up to in spring break. We go to Trinidad, Colorado. It's kind of the mission trip of Street Ministries 2540. And we go up there, our good friend Pastor Clay Mason works with the homeless up there, and we go to bless them and work with them. And what always ends up happening is we leave with them blessing us. But what's fun is on the midst of those trips is Jason is colorblind and I have some night blindness, so I drive during the day. He drives at night. And now we've taken this trip enough, and just even a lot of those roads that we take, even though we haven't traveled those roads together every single time, we've both traveled those roads enough that we're very familiar with them. We know a lot of the things with it. Don't get me wrong, a lot of it, West Texas and then up into the Panhandle, it all looks the same, and you're going along. But, it's just, we know it well. And this year it was a little different because, while we were up there, Jason got sick. And so we headed out around our usual time that morning from Trinidad. And we hop on the road, and I start out the day driving like I usually do. And we go along, and usually we get to Lubbock, and that's where we switch out. Lubbock's about the halfway point. It's about 6 hours, so it's a 12-hour trip. So Lubbock is roughly the halfway point, and we'll stop there for supper, and then we finish strong. Jason drives the rest of the way. I kind of relax. Kind of maybe doze in and out, a little bit of sleep, and the same will be for Jason on the way from Trinidad to Lubbock. He'll get some rest. But preparing for our time to swap out. Well, obviously, because Jason was sick this year, I did all the driving, which was fine. And I was okay with that. I was thankful that I was there with him, so that could be done. I couldn't imagine driving a 12-hour trip, miserable as he was, and kind of dealing with that. Well, I say it was fine, but up until that moment, as the sun started going down, it starts to when you have night blindness, it gets a little harder to see. And, we, as we go along further and further in the trip, well, then it's not just the sun is going down, the sun has disappeared from the sky. And it's, it's reached that point of pitch black. And I'm fine for the most part because, again, I know this trip. I know this journey. Well, it's a lot of times it's, other cars come along and their lights and it gives me a headache, and then I can't see, and there's certain things that I'm looking for, that all this kind of stuff, that it just makes it difficult to see. And there's a couple problems with all that. Yes, obviously, the first and foremost, when you can't see very well, it's probably not best to be, if you can avoid it, to be the one driving. But sometimes you can't avoid that. Sometimes you find yourself in weak moments, or in moments where your weaknesses are put to the test, and you have to press on. Because we needed to reach our destination. And, so just right off the bat right there, I mean, man, you can think of so many things in connection to our walk with Christ, that there are moments, there are going to be moments that we're going to experience, times, seasons in our life that we're coming across that our strengths, our gifts, we can see how well we survive and thrive in that season. And then sometimes we find ourselves in moments where our weaknesses, they start to show. And we're still pressing on. We're still going throughout our trip, but you can see that it's a strain, right? And so what do? We have to press on, because we're trying to reach our destination. And so I want to invite you a little bit, take some time today to read Psalm 119, 33 through 40, because that's what we're talking about when he's talking about, teach me, direct me, show me these things that I want to know, because another struggle in the midst of what we're talking about is we can become so familiar with the past, so familiar with the road. I know this. I've read my Bible. I know what God expects of me and all these kind of things. Well, but then what happens is you're almost to where you've got something you're trying to accomplish. And you're almost to the end of that accomplishment, and then a deer runs out into the road. Okay, now I'm not talking figuratively. I'm talking literally, because we were about 20 miles from Rockdale, where I was going to stay for the night, and where Jason was going to, go into his house. Just right, probably 20, 25 minutes out. A deer runs out in front. Now, thankfully, the deer, we didn't hit it. But you see, I could be so fixed on, okay, I can't see very well, but I know this road, so it's fine. Okay. Well, still there comes those moments where those things those unexpected trials, those unexpected things come into our path, and we still have to watch for them. Even though that can, be made difficult because of our weakness we go through. We still have to do our best to power through the weaknesses and find a way to still be able to use God-given abilities. God has still given me the ability to see. Right? And just because that my sight may not be as just because your sight may not be as good as your hearing, or your hearing may not be as good as your strength, all these kind of things, it does not mean that we still do not need to use those in the midst of the journey that we're on. Another bit of trips that we take, my wife and I mentioned to you earlier that we're in Tulsa. We're here with my in-laws, and just trying to get away for a little bit, take some time out of the house, and some time with family. A lot of times on our trips, Sarah does a lot of the driving because as a number of years back, my back issues started to begin to worsen before I had surgery. She was driving a lot because I could, if needed, I can kind of stretch out, readjust, all these kind of things. And I would get to the point that when we take trips, I'd get out and I could hardly walk. It was just so difficult, and it would take me time just to recover from driving in the car. So we had to stay a certain amount of days because, man, I knew that for the most part, that first day was going to be spent recovering from the trip. Well, as that got better, Sarah still continued to drive, but there are moments that I still drive. I drive my own vehicle, but there are moments that I'll drive on the trip to give her a break from driving. She doesn't need to do all of it. So with that, what happens is I find myself up here in Tulsa or Jinx, kind of really the area that we're in, suburb of Tulsa. Unless you're from Jinx, you may not consider yourself a suburb of Tulsa, but all the same, I'm not as familiar with the streets up here. And so Sunday we needed to go to the store to go get some ice and some semi-sweet chocolate chips. Good stuff, right? And needed to go to the store, and I was like, wait, I'm not really sure where I'm going. So I took somebody, so I asked Sarah to go with me. So I decided to let her drive, let somebody who knows where they're going do the driving, and me to pay attention and learn the way that I should go so that when that moment comes that I may need to go myself, I can go. Well, as we went along, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this. It's been a little while, but I remember this way. See, let's not spend so much time in our confidence of our familiarity and just saying, why do I need to look into any more of where I'm going? Because I already know where I'm going. I already know what I'm doing. Instead, let's allow the one who knows the journey to remind us of the way. I want to thank you for joining us tonight and pray that this time has been a blessing to you. Tomorrow night we have our Wednesday night Bible class. Actually, core starts at 6 o'clock. The Wednesday night Bible class starts at 7, and we invite you to join us then. And don't forget to read Psalm 119, 33 through 40 to a little bit more about what we're talking about tonight. God bless, guys.
The sun has risen and I face another day. I just remember who I am, and that Jesus is the way. Though the world tries to break me, make me stumble, make me fall, then I get down on my knees. Lord, I pray, I call, and I'll fly to a place so high above. Lord, I'll fly to a place of perfect peace. I'm gonna fly to see and feel the love, Lord, so high. Feel a love that will not cease. Lord, I'll fly. and the war with sin is, and all the dead are risen. Ooh, and he calls us to be with him. I will see his face. Oh, I'm gonna sing him praise, give him a sweet embrace. Then I'll stretch out my arms and I'll fly to a place so high above. Lord, I'll fly to a place of perfect peace. I'm gonna fly to see and feel love, Lord, so high. Feel the love that will not cease. Oh yeah, just think of that day. Lord, I'm looking to the sky. I'm gonna fly and I'll fly. Oh, and I'll fly. Lord, so high. Lord, you know I'm gonna fly. Lord, so high.